Hey everybody, welcome back. Got another quick little video here for you about how to wire one of these relays. And these are going to be the same for these little 30 or 40 amp. Usually have 4, sometimes they may have 5. You can see the wiring diagram there, but maybe you have a little bit of trouble understanding what that means. So I'm going to start with a basic quick little illustration of electrical wiring. When you have a complete circuit or you have continuity, the wire will be complete and you'll have continuity, or the power can flow. When you have a switch or something that opens it or breaks continuity, power can't flow. So you have continuity, you have a closed circuit, you have an open circuit. Now a light switch, for example, all that does, close a circuit, open the circuit. This would be on, that would be off. So what it really does is basically does it automatically for you, so you don't have to, push a switch all the time. So you can wire it in there and it can be turned on and off by many different types of switches. So it could be an actual little toggle switch, could be a pressure switch, or different sensors, or all kinds of different things. So why do you use a relay? Essentially, you don't want to run large loads through a switch because they can't handle large loads. So in this case, this is, I think, 120 amp. There's also 200s, starter solenoids. It's kind of the same thing. You have your battery, and then you have your load side, and then you have your switch leads. Obviously you can see this is a lot smaller wire, so your switch doesn't wear out, it's better, and you have basically a big switch in there, big contact. So to illustrate a little bit, terminal 85 should be your negative, and that's that one right there. 86 is your trigger, which it can be a switch, it can be an ignition circuit, it can be, whatever. Generally, you're going to want your 12-volt source coming from your ignition and then to a switch. So your ignition has to be on, then we'll send power to the switch, then the switch will, when on, send power to your trigger. And that will then close it and take power from your battery through a fuse and close it and send it over to terminal 87. I labeled these a little bit so it'd be a little more obvious. 30 is your battery, 87 is your load, your motor, whatever it is, starter. 85 is negative. 86 is your trigger source or your switched power source. So let's see it work. That's what everybody wants to see, right? How do you do it? Well, realistically, it's very simple. All you need is your battery source and the negative from the battery, positive, negative. Then we can connect the meter. This should be on the 20-volt scale DC. And so what it does is we'll trigger it, so it will send battery power from here to this terminal through the wire to the meter, and we should see it light up or power up, and you'll also hear it. So all you gotta do is touch it, and you see there's 13.8 volts. When I take it off, it lets go. You can hear it click, it connects. Now, for demonstration, I'm just jumping the battery to the trigger source, 86. Like I said, 86 should be running off your ignition or something, so it turns off when your ignition in your car turns off. Technically, if it was wired like this, straight off your battery, and then you put a switch in here, it would stay on and running all the time, even if your ignition was turned off. Generally, that's not desired, but in some cases, you do want to do it. So, what if we have another switch in there, right? Okay. So this is toggle switch and a pressure switch. This would be used on a compressor, air compressor, and this one in particular is 90 to 120, so it will sense the air pressure below 90 psi. It will turn on or close and sending power. When it gets to 120, it will open and shut it off. So all you're going to do is connect it in line so that when we connect our switch, turn it on, we get battery power going to our load. Turn it off, shuts it off. Now, like I said, right now, this pressure switch is sensing a low pressure below 90, so it's closing and sending power through. If that were above 120 psi, it would open and you'd see it shut off. But you can also use a switch to turn it off. So you could remotely mount this switch, for example, and this battery lead would maybe come from your ignition. So your ignition would have to be on. This switch would have to be on. The pressure switch would have to be below 90 psi, and then it would send power through, turning on your load. Make sense? If you don't understand or want to see anything in particular or more specifics, feel free to leave a question in the comments. I'll try to answer any questions, clarify anything for you if you need it. But other than that, you can also test this, which is what I'm doing here. Make sure it works before you get it all installed. Just like that. Hopefully that helps clarify everything and give you an idea of how it works. Till next time, see you later.